What's up, Jamie? What's up?
Oh, hey.
Oh,
This is a video for Wild Wednesdays. We bring conversations around intimacy and the word fuck, and you living in a body you trust. This is Jamie Elizabeth Thompson. If you don't know this woman, check her out. She has an incredible movement called the Erotic Muse, and I love the Erotic Muse. Like, I love that phrasing because I feel it's such a range. Like, what is the erotic and what is a muse? So I would love to just unpack that a little bit with you right now. So, like, what is an erotic muse to you?
love this question. So, like, your favorite word is fuck. My favorite word is erotic. And what I love about the muse is I feel like it's the part of the feminine that comes out and creates and inspires creativity. And I feel like before we inspire creativity in anyone else, we get to do that in ourselves. And I think one of the most creative channels that I can tap into and that I am supporting other women in tapping into is the erotic channel, and how erotic energy is actually creative energy. And as being a muse for ourselves, we can unlock and awaken that creative energy using our erotic, sensual energy, which is also a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Comes like from pretty much like the earth, right? Like being pulled up through the body and then up and out and expressed out into the world. And a lot of people might call this the microcosmic orbit, where it circulates through the body and it can undulate in either direction. Right? We did this even earlier today, where we're breathing up the back of the spine on the inhale and then exhaling and bringing it down in front of the body. And I love that you brought this piece around before we can actually like be a muse to other people. The key to actually being that muse for ourselves, and the way to do that is to be turned on, to turn ourselves on, which doesn't even have to be so sexual. You know, it comes from this erotic sexual channel, but it's not sex. It's just like allowing ourselves to be turned on, like to be turned on.
It's
the
life
way that
force.
it's life force. Like to feel alive is to be turned on.
I feel like it's, you know, we in this culture there's so much there's like a separation between being lit up and inspired and being sexually turned on, and I actually feel like they are very similar. And it's just like what creates energy flowing in the body. And if we look at our sexual energy as perhaps just a more concentrated, potent version of other energy, and there's a lot of things that create that potent, lit up feeling, we separate it. And so it doesn't have to be something that only exists for a partner or only exists in the bedroom, but it's rather just a way of being more lit up about ourselves and our life and what we're creating in the world.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful the way that you're saying it. And I've called myself, like, what I do is erotic alchemy. Yeah, which like, what is alchemy?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different interpretations of this as well. But like the erotic, it's like working the sexual channel and the energy. And again, beyond it needing to be even about anybody else, but we're alchemizing, mixing all these different energies in my own body. So that can mean I could be in a really sad place or angry, and using the muse in myself and my erotic sexual channel to shift that sadness or that anger into pleasure, into like a state of forgiveness, into celebration, into laughter. And that to me is the alchemy of allowing the vastness of emotions, of feelings to be expressed, and not contracting things but letting it move in the body.
Yeah. I call it sexual transmutation sometimes, where it's like if there's actually, and this is an interesting thing that's kind of edgy for some people, but I feel like if there's an energy that's difficult to meet in myself and my body, like I'm like experiencing something like heartbreak or anger or loneliness, and I can meet myself in pleasure, it actually creates a transmutation where that energy becomes what you're saying of erotic alchemy. I love that term as well. it becomes alchemized or transmuted in the body into something else. Because it's not, I mean, energy is not created or destroyed, so it actually is just constantly turning into something else. So if we can find ways to meet ourselves in some of these places that feel like dense or heavy, I feel like the erotic channel is a wonderful way to actually, and you can do this with a partner, you can do it with yourself, but actually like meet yourself or your partner in whatever this energy is that you could go into a cognitive conversation and loop for, you know, the next 5 years and have this be your like consistent fight, or you could just go meet it in the bedroom, like meet it in the dojo. Totally. Let it transmute.
And this is our power. Like, this is the power of sexual energy, of creative life force, to actually be able to meet it. Like, how do I meet something that's coming at me at life that might be overpowering or disempowering or jarring, and then like I can feel that in my system, and how do we cope with that? Do we smoke a cigarette? Do we go have another cup of coffee? Do we drink alcohol? Like, do we use all these vices outside us rather than realizing we actually have the power to alchemize, to transmute and shift these energies from someone like projecting and throwing daggers at me, and actually fueling it into compassion? And there's like such a beautiful freedom that comes into being able to like, oh, I can just like meet life, to like let life touch me, to connect with different people, because I trust the way that I connect with myself, with my muse, and like my erotic power, where people can't have power over me, because I'm in touch with my power.
That's right.
It's really like, it's such a special gift.
Yeah.
So I just feel that this one and I are just creating that invitation to you around like, who are you for yourself? Like, how are you musing yourself? And then from there you can be like, how are you musing other people? Because like for this one, like, muse me. Like, I want you to muse me.
I will.
Oh yeah, babe. And from that, there's so much potential for us to also not have these contractions or fear our own feelings and emotions, but have the courage and the tools to meet these maybe like shadow pieces of ourselves that we haven't been able to look at. Maybe we've needed like another connection with ourselves or another person to go through these pieces.
And it's interesting because it seems like whatever I find that I can't meet in myself, or whatever I'm having a challenge with meeting in myself, is what is showing up in the field that other people are bringing to me. So it's like life is showing me this particular energy as a means to support me in transmuting it, so that we can be even more empowered and even more a part of the like awakening organism that everything actually is, like the life that everything is. So it's like showing the places that I can't see, that are the blind spots, and then the more that I can just embody those things, and the more that we can meet those parts of ourselves. So and that doesn't just have to be, you know, erotically, right? Like this is a, you know, micro to the
and
macro.
Life is erotic. Like, again, my favorite word, fuck. Everything has been fucked into existence. Like, all things that are alive have been created from, you know, like that origin, and to feel that. But what you're saying is, what I'm hearing is that everything externally around me is basically an invitation. An invitation for me to look at what's going on in my own inner world. That the invitation is an opportunity, and how do I say yes or no to that opportunity and to that invitation? So like seeing that life is actually giving me exactly what I need in each moment, and feeling the turn on of that, like being turned on, like, and ready to go and ready to meet it. And again, like you said, beyond the sexual piece, totally, but also using the erotic as a tool to actually meet life turned on.
Right. And I find that like any place that I haven't gone all the way through, there's like that kind of thing where it's like it can get painful, and then we don't want to like meet like the full heartbreak, so we like let our heart break halfway and then start creating a story, and then end up in a story loop that's like, you know, I can never be loved again, or, you know, some kind of loop, instead of actually letting ourselves experience it. I feel like there's this like pin of a needle point that happens when we allow ourselves to experience something all the way, and it actually becomes ecstatic. Like there's that moment where it's like you pop because you've really felt something all the way through. And I feel that's where like the erotic meets life is in that moment where
infinite
it's like
emotions also.
where it's there, you just let it go all the way through. And there's something that's really special about that, because I feel like sometimes it's like, what? How could you even connect heartbreak with the erotic channel? Like they seem so different. And I think what we're saying here is like, if you go all the way through the heartbreak, you will find the erotic again. If you go all the way through whatever this experience that you're having that really sucks or feels, you know, just is painful, it becomes erotic again. So everything's erotic.
Everything's erotic. To touch it, to feel alive, to feel connected to yourself, connected to others. It is to connect to life, which is to meet life fully. And that's, again, what we're saying is just like the opportunity, the invitation to meet life fully, turned on, to be erotic, to be your own muse, and to continue to fuck everything in your life into existence. That is your power. It is your birthright. And I'm so stoked that we had this conversation.
This is fun.
This is great.
I also like letting life fuck me.
Yeah.
You know, like actually
Totally.
like receiving the fuck, you know, like receiving
Right.
life in that way. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out Miss Jamie. You can find her in the information below. My name is Elana Meta. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's Wild Wednesday. Come again next Wednesday. And until then, go muse yourself.
Go muse yourself.
Go muse yourself. Bye.